What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update. A few things to get through today, starting off with Harry Kane, and I tell you there are a lot of Harry Kane updates, so let's work through them. Starting off with Bild, they reported yesterday saying, yes, some Bayern bosses have visited Daniel Levy in London yesterday. Understand it was a good meeting with good atmosphere. There is no breakthrough in negotiations yet, but it's going in the right direction as reported. It was important for Bayern to show respect to Levy. Kane was informed of the visit, and Tottenham have made it clear that offers below 100 million euros for Harry Kane will not even be considered. David Ornstein says, just reaffirming it, saying Bayern Munich's CEO met Tottenham chairman Daniel Levy over breakfast in London to discuss Harry Kane. No fresh offer made, no price given. Clubs are on good terms, but Kane does travel with Tottenham to the pre-season tour. And then he goes on to say that he thinks it's more likely that Harry Kane stays at Tottenham. They don't want him to go, and he doesn't think that they'll meet the asking price. And Spurs' official position is that they don't want to sell. However, that doesn't mean the move will not materialise later down the line, as Daniel Levy does not want to lose Kane for free. Ideally, they would want him to sign a new contract, but they are prepared to go all out to get him to sign that contract. Dan Kilpatrick says that Harry Kane does not intend to push Tottenham to leave this summer, even if the club continues to rebuff bids from Bayern Munich. If he is to go, Kane is determined to do so on positive terms, also meaning that he would not entertain a move to Chelsea. However, Kane does remain open to all options, leaving Tottenham this summer, leaving for free next summer, or even signing a contract with Spurs. Fabrizio Romano says that there has been a very important contact between Tottenham and Bayern Munich for Harry Kane yesterday. Bayern have made it clear to Spurs that they don't want to give up on this deal. Still not at a crucial stages though, and Bayern are looking to explore Daniel Levy's real terms to secure the signing of Harry Kane, with full knowledge that the player is open to the move. Ali Gold says Postecoglou and Kane have gotten well since the striker returned to Hotspur way, with the Australian making a very positive impression on the star man. Sky Sports says that Ange Postecoglou made it clear to Harry Kane that he plans to shape a Tottenham side that produces exciting attacking football, and he would like him to be a part of it. And last but not least, Plettenberg says an insider close to the negotiations for Harry Kane has said he expects Kane to Bayern deal to go through within the next 2 to 3 weeks. What do you make out of all that?
Look, I think it's pretty much what we've been saying this whole time, or what I've been saying this whole time, in terms of I do believe Kane is open to this move. I think that's clear. That's why Levy's having discussions with Bayern Munich at breakfast. It seems as though that was a genuine meet between the two clubs to see what the deal is. I don't think Bayern Munich are going to get anywhere near the price that Tottenham are going to be demanding for Harry Kane. The only thing I think Bayern are clinging on to is that Kane... they believe that Kane really wants to go to Bayern, and that maybe down the line, if he makes it clear to Tottenham that he's not going to sign a contract and maybe tries to agitate for a move a bit, then that could see the price lower down and something that Bayern could match. But Dan Kilpatrick saying that it doesn't seem that Kane is so desperate to move that he's going to do that kind of thing, and that he's prepared to stay if a deal can't be reached between Tottenham and Bayern. And I think that's probably going to be what's going to happen. I think Bayern aren't completely serious in trying to get Kane. I think they're trying to get him for a lower fee because he's on a year left in his contract. I think if they were really serious about getting him through the door, they would have tabled a serious bid, but they're trying to lowball us, and that's not going to work with Tottenham and with Levy. I think they probably believe that Tottenham's desperation not to lose him on a free and Kane's willingness to leave will drive the price down, but I don't think they know who they're dealing with. And I think when it comes to Levy, he's going to demand a price, and he ain't going to take anything lower than that. And I think Bayern are probably going to get frustrated in the end and end up moving on at some point.
Yeah, I think out of the three parties, when you look at it, Bayern are probably the only ones really stressing out right now at the moment. Spurs want Kane to stay for the season. I know they don't want to lose him on a free, but I think Daniel Levy probably thinks that he can convince Harry Kane to sign that contract. Whether he can or not is a completely different story. Harry Kane, in his head, he's probably thinking, look, I'm in no rush here. I know if things don't go well at Spurs, I can just leave on a free and I'll have a host of clubs to join. So Bayern are probably the only ones really stressing out in this situation. And I think Bayern probably know, as much as things are reporting otherwise, Bayern probably know that if they don't get him this summer, they're probably not going to get him at all.
Yeah, that's why they're probably prepared to pay big. Well, I don't know if they are prepared, but they should be prepared to pay big money, because I don't think that's going to be an option in a year's time. In terms of what the Ali Gold said about him getting on with Postecoglou, doesn't surprise me. Kane gets on with every manager. I mean, it's great news, don't get me wrong, and I'm happy that he's made a good impact. But Kane, Mourinho made a big impact on Kane. Conte made a big impact on Kane. Poch made a big impact on Kane. So it's nothing new there.
Nothing like the Ange impact. Nothing like the big Ange impact.
That's the one that's going to make him sign, I'm sure. Yes, it doesn't surprise me. Kane is pretty much the model professional. He gets on with every manager. I think also, not only does he get on with every manager, I think he really buys into and believes in every manager's kind of way of playing, in terms of he'll see how Conte wants to play, and he'll be like, this is how we're going to play, and he'll fully buy into it. Even if other players don't, he'll fully buy into it, because he believes he'll believe in following the way the coach wants to play and stuff like that. So I'm sure he'll buy into how Postecoglou wants to play. Yeah,
absolutely. So I guess the state that we're in is nothing's changed basically until the last time we brought you the update.
Yeah, I guess the only other thing is he's on the plane, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, but let's move on and let's talk about Clement Lenglet now, as Sport are reporting that a lot of progress has been made over Clement Lenglet's return to Tottenham. There is no agreement over a fee yet, but Barca know that they will have to relax their demands in order to sell the defender. And Roger Torello, who's a journalist for Barcelona, says that Barcelona are still in negotiations with Tottenham for central defender Clement Lenglet, and if agreement is not reached by Monday, that the player will return to training. So the player will probably return to training.
Yeah, look, all this news about Lenglet is all coming from the Barcelona end. I haven't heard any journalists or anything from the England side saying that there's real possibility at the moment.
Well, Ali Gold did say, didn't he, that he is on the list of defenders?
Yeah, everyone said he's an option, but no one's actually saying, all these guys saying there's negotiations, they're close, all this kind of stuff. So I don't really buy it. I think they're trying their best to get him sold to Tottenham. They clearly don't want him at all. And they want to get rid of him, and it's a dream for them if Tottenham will come in and take him off their hands. I really hope that Tottenham just avoid this and go in a separate direction. I'm guessing maybe it's one we'll keep open later down the line in case things really don't work out at centre-back, but I just think if we're turning to Lenglet again, I think there's been some massive fuck-ups, basically.
It'll be so annoying if we turn to Lenglet. There is no... Why would you have Lenglet and Dyer in the same squad again? There was just no need for it. There are so many defenders out there. Yes, fine, not maybe defenders that you can get for the price of Lenglet, but you get what you pay for at the end of the day. If you're going to bring in someone as cheap as chips as Clement Lenglet for 5 or whatever, however much we're going to spend on him, you are literally getting what you play for with this player. There is not going to be any surprises. He's not going to turn into this miraculous defender overnight. He is an average defender, and that is what we're going to be getting with Clement Lenglet, and we've got way too many of those in the squad already. That is literally what we're trying to get away from. So we need to be going for our number one targets, which are the players that we know: Van de Ven, Tapsoba, Tosin Adarabioyo. Get those players in. There's no need to get Lenglet in, literally.
You had to get that off your chest.
Anyway, let's move on to the last story of the update today. Waiting all day for this, and the Tottenham pre-season squad has been announced. Spurs are finally coming back to our screens very soon. Tuesday, 11 a.m. is the first game of pre-season out in Australia. We play West Ham in Perth, and the squad has been announced. So the goalkeepers are Vicario, Alfie Whiteman, Brandon Austin, and Josh Keeley. In defence, we've got Pedro Porro, Emerson Royale, Jed Spence, Eric Dyer, Japhet Tanganga, Davidson Sanchez, Joe Rodon, Ben Davis, Kuti Romero, Destiny Adoji, and Sergio Reguilon. In midfield, we've got Ollie Skip, Yves Bissouma, Harvey White, Alfie Devine, James Maddison, Giovanni Lo Celso, Tanguy Ndombele, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, and Pape Matar Sarr. And then the forwards, we've got Heung-min Son, Ivan Perisic, Richarlison, Kulusevski, Harry Kane, Manor Solomon, and Dane Scarlett. The members of the squad that are not travelling through injury, first and foremost, is Fraser Forster, Rodrigo Bentancur, Brian Hill, Ryan Sessegnon, and Troy Parrott. And Hugo Lloris has been left at home to explore transfer opportunities. So we all thought that there were going to be many more players than this missed out the squad. So do you read anything into this?
Well, the only thing I can read into it is that Postecoglou really wants to have a look at all these players. And first of all, what I can read into it is clearly nothing's that advanced with any of the players that are going, because Lloris is staying back, and it was explicitly stated he's staying back back to explore transfer opportunities. I'm assuming that probably means, look, he's close to leaving, and that's why he's staying back, if I read between the lines. But no one else is staying back. Like we thought, Lo Celso or Sanchez especially, it seemed like a deal was going to be done soon for him. Højbjerg, people like that. Clearly nothing's close. And I think that... and also, for me, it also probably states that Postecoglou hasn't made a decision yet on anyone who's like in the balance, and maybe he wants to have a good look at all of them on pre-season and wants to see who's like really up for it, who really fits into his system as well. Sorry, so I think he's got a lot of decisions to make, Postecoglou. So I'm not mad at it. I am surprised. I thought some more decisions than that would have been made. Clearly, less decisions than we all thought have been made yet on the current squad, who's leaving, who's staying. But I think it's probably smart to give everyone as much chance as possible, because if we are like not going to be spending massive amounts this summer, it's important to keep players around, give everyone the possibility to be reintegrated, just in case they have more to offer than we believe. And that goes for players like Lo Celso, Ndombele, Reguilon, people out on loan. So I think that I understand that, and I think that's probably the right thing to do at this juncture, seeing as the players who have come back from international duty, they've had a few days with
they came back on Wednesday.
Yeah, so they've literally had 2 days. So what, you expect Postecoglou to make decisions based on 2 days? It's not a lot. So I think that's probably a good thing to do. In terms of the squad list, the only minor thing I would say is I did find it a tad interesting they put Perisic in the forwards. Is that if he does stay, is that him then basically saying if he stays, that's where he's going to be playing as one of the wingers?
I think that's the only option for him, to be honest, in an Ange system. Where else can he play? Because he's not going to play left back. He can't play left back in an Ange system. So I think the only place he can play is on the left wing. And to be honest, it might be the best position for him, because we know he's got quality in the final third in terms of his crossing ability. So maybe it could be an option if he stays for one more year, that you bring him in on maybe in the final 20 minutes or something in games, and he can get good deliveries into the box.
With 31 players going over, it's going to be tough to get game time, especially the younger players as well, because pre-season is usually a time where you have the younger players get a run out for like 20 minutes or so at the end of games. And that's going to be tough, because we've got 31 players and a lot of players who he probably wants to have a look at. Yeah,
you imagine there'll be different big changes at half times in all the games, and you imagine maybe the game against the Young Lions or that Singapore team that we're playing, you imagine maybe a lot of the young kids might get a run out in that game.
Yeah, but it's like, even if you change your whole 11 at half time, that's still only 22 players. There's a whole other 11 pretty much there. So it's a lot of players to get
doing roll on, roll off subs.
Yeah, that's what they should be doing. I'm sure that's what he wants. But it's going to be even as one. I guess the point I'm trying to make is, even with them all going, it's still not gonna. He's still not gonna have that much to go on really in terms of game time to judge these players on. So they're really gonna have to impress, I guess, when they get on the pitch.
Yeah, I do hope that Ange will learn a lot on this pre-season tour, because after he comes back, we've still got 2 more friendlies, the one against Shakhtar, the one against Barcelona. They are in the space of, I think, 2 days or 3 days within each other, but I would have hoped that once we get to those 2 friendlies, he'll have more of an idea of which way he wants to go with these players.
Yeah.
So anyway, that is the Tottenham update for today. Like I said, we will be bringing you a watch along on Tuesday, 11 o'clock for the West Ham friendly. Well, it's never a friendly against West Ham, so we'll just call it a pre-season game against West Ham. We'll be doing you a watch along and probably a post-match fan show as well. So join us for that on Tuesday. But that is your Tottenham update for today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.